Ah, the Game Boy, the true pioneer of handheld gaming. Created by iconic game designer Gunpei Yokoi, the Game Boy revolutionized the world of gaming and was a massive, massive success. I think that at one point or another, all of us have gotten our hands on a Game Boy, or even still have some of the cartridges from their childhood knocking around. Lord knows I do. There were a lot of games for the Game Boy. Like, a lot, a lot. This is a list of every Game Boy game ever made, and it's 21 pages long. So let's roll up our sleeves, reach in, and pull out a little handheld magic. Welcome to Game Boy Roulette, where we'll discover games from one of the greatest systems of all time. With our trusty randomizer by our side, we will select a single Game Boy game from the list and find out a little more about it. Then I'll play it a little, just to see what it's like. Could be an unknown gem, could be a major game, could end up being the worst fucking game I've ever played in my life. Well, no use waiting. Let's fire up the randomizer and find out our first game. Wave Race? There was a Wave Race game on Game Boy? This actually was the first of the Wave Race series, the second game being the beloved Wave Race 64. Wave Race 64 was one of the best N64 games, with legitimate wave physics and incredibly impressive graphics for the time. Well now, we're gonna get a chance to learn about where this whole series started, won't we? Wave Race for Game Boy was designed by Masayuki Kameyama, who previously worked on the first Mother game, aka Earthbound Beginnings, and who went on to direct two much more well-known Game Boy games, Donkey Kong and Mole Mania, although those two were the last games he worked on. Wave Race, meanwhile, was, whoa, holy shit, look at how kickin' rad that guy is on the cover! High-speed action, sign me up! And I know he's supposed to be wearing a wetsuit, but I can't help but imagine that that's a vest and he has pink skin. But enough of that, let's dive in, haha, water pun, and see what this game's all about. Oh shit, there he is again. I can't see his glorious pink outfit, but damn, he looks good. Here we go. Input name, I already just did a quick test earlier, just to see if the game was functioning, and it was. The problem is it only has a 4-letter input, so let us adventure as Bria. Circuit or slalom? Let's just do circuit. 550cc. Mario Kart, get fucked. Bahamas, 2 laps. Here we go. Oh, Com 4, 5, and 6. They're the best racers ever. 2. Graphics are okay. Water isn't moving, but the graphics are... Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, so the controls are incredibly delayed. I'm guessing this is the path. Yep. Like, I'm just gonna show you right. Left, right, right. So basically I hit the button and a couple seconds later he turns. And I'm only using the one button, so the other one is... Oh, the other one is that turbo meter above. I'm also noticing a shit ton of flickering. The graphics are okay, I guess. I mean, it's Game Boy era, so these do look nice, but at the same time, I don't know, there's something about them that's really hurting my eyes. I guess it's just the repetitive nature of the background, which kind of looks like Gigas, whatever it is. It's been a while since I played Earthbound. Game also doesn't seem too difficult, but I'm at first thing. What's really killing me on this, though, is the fucking sound. Oh, that is miserable. I'm actually wearing a headset right now, and it makes it almost impossible to fucking hear anything. It's just a constant din. Oh, race over. Okay. Fastest lap was Bria at 36 seconds. Look at that little guy. So fucking happy. Okay, next. So, it's basically, you know, in terms of racing, it's pretty much the same as Mario Kart. Just in terms of how they score you and everything. 1. And here we go. Next race. I guess the arrow just points you where you're supposed to go. Yep. And I get a little bit of turbo. Can I go? Okay, so you can. It's like Wave Race 64. You can go outside the lines if you want. Whoa, what the? Oh, that was a jump. Oh, and there's all the ridges there. Okay, so there is gameplay, but honestly, like, there is gameplay variety per race, which is nice, but the flickering is fucking killing me on this. And the noise. You know, the graphics are okay to look at, like I said, but just everything else is not. They're trying to simulate drifting, and oh my god, like, that right there was not me fucking around. I was genuinely trying to turn. it really does not control well. And I remember Wave Race 64 controlling really, really smoothly, really impressively too, and just now, it's not. Okay, so this is where the jump was, right? Okay. Yeah, so it's interesting that a series that really only had the 3 games, I think the third one was for Wii, I think, and the second one was Wave Race 64, you know. Third one didn't get much press. First one, this one, didn't get any press. But Wave Race 64, you know, is one of those games where the sequel just improved on everything. Which is nice to see. Again, though, the map is cutting in and out. The time is cutting in and out. The noise is fucking awful. Oh my god, the noise is bad. I got 4th place there. Let's see if my guy's any sadder. Aww. Is the game fucking laughing at me? It totally is. Okay. Let's do one more race and then do a wrap-up. Corsica. Whoa, this race looks like a bitch. Here we go. Hello? Okay. I tried to use turbo right out of the gate, and I guess that disqualifies me from starting quick. The arrows are saying to go this way. Okay. It also doesn't help, like, I know what they're trying to do with this, what they were trying to do with this game. You know, the drifting, the bouncing off other people, it's all that way. The problem is, on Wave Race 64, they just had so much more to work with, and here, it just doesn't work. The sound, they're trying to go for the engines, and it becomes very difficult. Like, if I was a kid playing this, I would turn the sound off. I turn the sound off for a lot of games, and this is... oh, this is hard. And I'm out of bounds, and back in. Looks like you can just go wherever the fuck you want. Yeah, I think... can I just... oh, well, I guess I have to go around these slaloms, or else it disqualifies me. And... 3rd place. Okay, timer is still go. Oh, there we go. Is the animation going to be any different for 3rd? Looks like I'm okay with 3rd, not great. 8 points. Okay, I think that's good just to get a feel for the game. I don't want to play these games for too long. Just get a quick feel. And if I really like them, I'll play for longer, but this one, not so much. Well, that was slightly underwhelming. Also, I said fuck a lot while playing. Sorry about that. I mean, as I said, the graphics were decent and the gameplay worked for the most part, but that sound, man. The Game Boy often had a lot of really catchy tunes to make up for the lack of audio capabilities, but this was just a constant shriek in your ears, trying to simulate the sound of a jet ski, but sounding more like someone trying to clean their cat with a cheese grater. It's interesting to see where it all began, but at the end of the day, despite 3 games, the Wave Race series will always be remembered for just the 2, Wave Race 64 and Wave Race Blue Storm. Which isn't to say it was bad, it was just not very memorable. Plus, the audio sounded like a recorder being played by Cthulhu. The top-down perspective just doesn't give it the same feel as the third person does on the other consoles. That said, given the limitations of the Game Boy, this is just what they had to work with. It paved the way for far better sequels, but as a game itself, well, I can see a kid enjoying it many years ago. For me, it simply doesn't have a lasting quality that many other games on the Game Boy have. That's about all for the debut edition of Game Boy Roulette. Join us for future episodes when we will continue to dive into the Game Boy Vault and see what we come up with. I'm Brian J, and I will see you next time.